now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. Maybe you think a lighthouse keeper's job is lonesome, but Jimmy Dayton's job was lonesomer. He had the gall-darn lonesomest job in the world until that thing called romance hit him. So let me tell you the story of Jimmy Dayton's treasure. Jimmy Dayton was the caretaker of Greenland Ranch in Death Valley back in the early 1890s. During the winter months, he had a ranch hand to keep him company. But come summer, even the Indians left the valley. And Jimmy was then the sole human being in all that desolation. Once in 3 months, he hitched up and drove down to Daggett, 130 miles away, to buy supplies and draw his pay.
Well, let me have the usual 50 and put the rest to my account.
All right. You're building up quite a bank balance over the years, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm saving it for a rainy day.
But it never rains in Death Valley.
Selena's right, Jimmy. You ought to have yourself a little fun now and then when you come to town.
You know, maybe I will get me a mule's ear full of suds and wash the alkali out of my throat.
Good. Cut loose and enjoy yourself for a change.
Bye, Miss Selena.
Bye, Jimmy.
Don't you ever feel like taking your own medicine?
Huh? Oh, what medicine?
Relax, have fun, trip the light fantastic.
Well, there's no one to dance with.
That's what you think.
Beer. Who is she?
That's Florrie Wilkins. She plays the piano here at the Rendezvous when she ain't dancing.
Give me a whiskey, Whitey.
Who do you think you are making fresh remarks like that?
I'm your lover boy, that's who.
Ah, slap your face.
Try and do it.
Are you looking for a fight?
Yeah, what's the idea?
I'm just flying to your defense, ma'am.
I'm quite capable of doing my own flying. And I'll thank you to mind your own business. Mr. Methuselah.
I got a good mind to...
Ah, lay off him. He ain't got long to live anyhow.
What a woman.
That'll learn you, Grandpa, not to sashay around with the ladies.
My name ain't Grandpa, and I got just as much right to sashay as the next fella. My foot ain't in the grave quite yet. What train is that?
Number 2 westbound. Stops here to take on water.
Give me the rest of my pay, will you? Quick, and cash if you got it.
Where are you going, Jimmy?
Los Angeles. Be all right with you, sir, if I take a few days off?
Sure, go ahead. You got a vacation coming.
Thanks. Keep Mag for me, will you, Selena? I'll get back. You stay with Selena.
And Jimmy meant it, too. Let him laugh. He'd show him. It took 2 weeks in the big city before Jimmy came back to show him.
Jimmy. Well, how do you like the new scenery?
Can't believe it's you.
You really went to town, didn't you?
Yep, shot the wad. Not only got some new duds, but I got something above timberline. She don't recognize that U.D. Cologne.
Great guns. Anybody would think you're going to get married.
I'll let you in on a little secret, boss. Maybe I am. I'm gonna spark her anyhow. I'll show her I'm no Methuselah.
How old are you, Jimmy?
I'm 59.
59.
And I'm getting blame tired of being a bachelor, living all alone in Death Valley. Come on, Meg.
What a life. Tickling the ivories in a dump like this.
Number 3, eastbound.
I wish I was a boarder, heading for New York. I could sure do with some bright lights after being stuck in this dump.
Have another drink, baby.
I'm sick of drinking. Why don't anybody interested ever land here? A big mining man. Or a promoter.
Now listen, baby,
Don't call me baby. I'm old enough to...
I know how old you are.
You get out of here, Thad Riker, and stay out. I've taken all the abuse I'm gonna from you.
All right, but let me tell you one thing, sweetheart. That's about all you can expect to get from any man from now on.
Welcome, stranger.
Somebody threw a bottle.
The manners of some of these folks around here.
Yeah.
Say, you're new in Daggett, ain't you?
Well, I just got in from Los Angeles.
You gonna stay around for a while? In our midst?
Well, I'm on my way out to my ranch.
Oh, you're a cattleman.
Well, not exactly. You see, I have other interests.
Whitey, bring the gentleman a drink. I don't believe I caught your name.
Mr. James Dayton, Esquire.
Of Los Angeles.
And Death Valley.
Death Valley. How romantic.
Change.
Thanks.
You know, I just love the desert. It's sort of a religion with me. Well, here's luck.
Now, if you'll stand over there.
Who, me? I'm not the sheriff. I'm not the bridegroom. I'm just a witness.
I'm the bridegroom.
Oh, well, there's no doubt as to who's the bride.
No.
Now, if you'll stand over there, please, and you directly behind. And do you mind standing? As sheriff of this county, as justice of the peace of this county, it is my privilege and pleasure to unite this couple in wedlock. Do you, James Dayton, take this lady for your lawful wedded wife?
Welcome home, Mrs. Dayton.
My, what a trip. Is this the bunkhouse?
No, this is where where we live.
Where we live?
Yes.
But what about the ranch hands and the wranglers and the cowboys?
Oh, there he comes now.
Well, I didn't recognize you, Jimmy. All dressed up like Mrs. Astor's pet horse.
Vic, I want you to meet Mrs. Dayton.
Mrs. Dayton?
Yeah.
Why, you old coot, don't tell me you got hitched.
Well, you don't think I'd be out here with him if we weren't. What's more, my good man, that's no way for a hired hand to address the owner of this ranch.
Owner? Did they throw the ranch in with the wife, Jimmy?
Well, no, you see, Florrie, I don't really own the ranch, but I'm in charge here.
He's the caretaker.
Is that true?
Yes, but I'm practically my own boss.
But you work for wages.
Yes.
And you pretended to me you was a big cattle king?
No, Florrie.
Deceived me into marrying you with all your talk about your interests?
Well, I didn't mean to, Florrie. You see, you jumped at conclusions.
Jumped, did I? Well, believe me, I'm jumping right out of this hole so fast it'll make your hair curl. If you had any. Oh, you didn't fool me with that wig. Not for a moment you didn't.
It ain't a wig. It's a toupee.
But I was willing to put up with all your infirmities, because I thought at least you had money. Now I find out you haven't a red cent.
I have got money, Florrie. Plenty of it. Put away.
Where?
It's buried.
Buried. You think you're Captain Kidd or somebody?
It's buried on the ranch here. A whole bag of gold.
At the end of a rainbow.
No, under a tree.
Which one? There's trees all around here.
I ain't saying.
Are you lying to me?
Of course not.
You can take my trunk out of the buckboard.
I got the dishes done, Florrie. I'm going over now and mend some fencing. Hope you won't be too lonesome while I'm gone.
Don't worry about me. I'll keep busy.
Take it easy. Quiet, Mag. That ain't no squirrel. What Mag and me brung you, Florrie? A sage hen. Shot it on the way home. Thought maybe you might cook it for supper.
What's sage hen?
It's a kind of a bird.
Can it fly?
Oh, sure.
You're welcome to it. Anything that can fly and don't leave this country ain't worth eating.
Here, Mag. Take it to Vic, Mag. Vic likes sage hen. You look tired.
I'm all right.
You ought to have something more comfortable, Florrie. Sitting all day. I'll see to it you have a rocking chair.
Sorry. Got to see the color of your money.
You don't trust me, Whitey? For one measly drink?
It's cash at the graveside.
That's a fine way to treat an old customer who spent plenty at this bar.
Listen, fella, you never paid for the drinks you had here. She did. You mooched off Florrie from the day you got to Daggett till the day she quit. But you're not mooching off me. It's cash on the line before you get as much as a bottle of soda pop around here. Have I made myself clear?
Quit it, Mag. There's nothing there. I lied to her. I'm driving into Daggett tomorrow.
So soon? I thought it was once in 3 months you went.
Well, something's come up. Business.
Oh.
Thought maybe you might like to know so you could be packing.
I'm not going.
What?
I'm staying right here.
Florrie, you mean you'd rather stay here?
I'd much rather. For a while yet.
Oh. Well, I don't like the idea of leaving you alone.
I don't mind.
Maybe I could get one of the Paiute women to come over and sleep in the house.
Do you think I need a chaperone?
No, but I thought maybe you might be nervous.
Well, I'm not. I'm not nervous in the least. I haven't a nerve in my body. Oh, for heaven's sakes, will you stop sitting there staring at me like that?
You mighty handsome when you get mad, Florrie. The first time I met you and you tied into me, that's the time I fell in love with you.
You've come to the wrong place for a handout, young fella.
A grub stake.
All we've got to offer is jobs.
Yeah, in the mines. At $4 a day.
$3.50 for muckers.
Well, well. If it ain't the little guy that tried to pick a fight with me at the rendezvous.
I come to draw my pay. But you said my back pay that you've been saving for me.
Well, how much of it?
The whole shebang.
All of it?
And what's more, I'd like it in gold.
These are your life savings, Jimmy. You, planning on putting them into something?
Yes, the ground.
The ground? What do you mean, Jimmy?
Well, I told my wife I had a sack of gold buried on the ranch under a tree. It was the only way I could get her to stay. And she's been hunting for it ever since.
And now you're going to put it there?
Yes. I couldn't let Florrie down and have her think I was a liar. Well, wait a minute now, Meg. Hey, we got some work to do here. Hi. Get up, son. Get on. I brought you some pretties from Daggett, Florrie.
How was things in Daggett?
About as usual. Oh, by the way, I run into that young fella.
What fella?
That fella that got fresh with you that time in the rendezvous.
Thad? Well, how was he? What did he say? Did he ask about me?
No, he was just leaving the company office as I come in.
Oh. There's one handsome fella. Is that you? Thad!
Florrie.
What on earth are you doing here?
Well, Well, I came to see you. What do you think?
Are you crazy?
No crazy I've always been. You're my blood, baby. I can't get you out.
If Jimmy should find out...
Dried up mummy. Had no business marrying him, Florrie.
Maybe not, but
Look, there's nothing for you here. We're going away together, you and me. I can't live without you.
Oh, you're in my blood, too, Thad. What's that? Money. A sack of money.
Yeah, for you and me.
Jimmy's treasure. How did you find it?
Heard him talking in Daggett. Trailed him out, watched him bury.
Oh, so it wasn't there all the time.
No, he was lying to you. Take us a long ways, baby. Well, how about it?
We'll leave this very night.
Well, Mag, it looks like it was just you and me from now on.
Sit up again, Whitey.
Come on, Thad, let's go.
Oh, what's your hurry, honey?
I'm tired. My head's splitting.
Well, then run along. Keep the change.
Thad! I was just trying to get you away before them fellows roll you.
What fella?
Well, don't look around now. A couple of sharpers. They're laying for you. Don't look. How much you got on you?
All of it except what I spent.
Here, slip it to me. I'll stand up real close. Put it in my bag. Quick, while they're not looking. Thank you. And goodbye.
Good night. Hey!
Where you going?
Away from here. And you needn't try and follow me because I'm all through with you.
Oh, Florrie.
You didn't come to Death Valley for me. You were after the money. And if I hadn't happened to just catch you stealing it...
Yeah, but where would you be? Still out there rotting away. Half that money's mine.
It ain't a cent of it yours. It's my husband's. You lay a finger on it and I'll sick the sheriff on you. You low-down, dirty sneak. Put it away for Jimmy, where it'll be safe.
Why are you doing this, Mrs. Dayton?
Mrs. Dayton. Because he's treated me so decent. The only man in my life who ever has. All he asked for was to make me happy. Look after me.
He loves you. You take the money back to him yourself.
Oh, no, I couldn't face him. I'd be too ashamed.
You fool. Here you've got the most precious thing in the world, the love and devotion of a good man, and you throw it all away because of silly pride. You go back to him now.
How? I've got no way.
Oh, that can be arranged. I'll speak to Mr. Gary. We'll take you there ourselves.
Florrie.
I brought it back to you, Jimmy. Your treasure.
My treasure.
Pretty wonderful thing, love.
Yes, it is.
Selena. Why, Selena, I didn't know that you...
You never took the trouble to find out.
Oh, Selena.
Jimmy Dayton rounded out his life at Greenland Ranch, now Furnace Creek Ranch. And when he died, was buried only a few miles away. where today you can see a bronze plaque that marks the bit of earth dedicated forever to one of Death Valley's pioneers.
Howdy. I'm the old ranger, and Death Valley's my stamping ground. Many's the tale of adventure I'm going to tell you about the Death Valley country. True stories, mind you. I can vouch for that.
My story tonight took place over 100 years ago, but it's very timely. I call it the Land of the Free. The year is 1849. From all corners of the earth, men are heading for California in the greatest gold rush the world has ever known. Most of them with just one thought in mind, to get rich. Some for the sheer adventure of it. A few to lose themselves. But the two men in our story have a still different reason. A unique one. It starts in Louisville, Kentucky, in the home of Dr. Henry Cabell.
The stories they're telling about California sound like something out of the Arabian Nights. Why, who'd have one fella, son of an overseer, a nobody, picked up 167 ounces of gold in 2 days?
That's a great deal of gold.
Well, I declare, why, it doesn't seem possible. More than 10 pounds of gold in 2 days?
How much is 10 pounds of gold in money?
I don't know. It's past my apprehension.
Zach. Zeke.
We beg your pardon, Miss Caroline. Me and Zach didn't mean to confiscate the conversation.
You were saying, Mr. Tyler?
I was saying, with gold that plentiful, I'll come back at the end of a year with a fortune. More than I'd make in a lifetime grubbing away in a law office. In spite of what Miss Cherry says.
I refuse to argue with it, Tyler. The last even before you leave.
Well, I think it's wonderful. I only wish Dr. Cabell were a little younger or more adventurous so he could go.
A few of us, my dear sister, are needed at home to grub.
I took permission to bring the dessert in myself, Miss Caroline. Something special for Master Tyler's going away.
Angel food. Rebby, you're wonderful.
And I put the candles on to help light your way back to Kentucky.
You almost make me change my mind about going.
Master Tyler's got a weakness for angel food like nothing you ain't never seen.
Wait till you taste it. It'll be your weakness, too. Rebby's the best cook in Kentucky. Bar none.
It's good of you to let us have her, Tyler, while you're away.
My pleasure, sir.
And my pleasure, too, Master Tyler, giving me a chance to be with my brothers for a spell.
You sure you wouldn't like to sell her to us, Mr. Tyler? Since we already own Zach and Zeke?
I'll need her when I get back. See, I plan on buying the old Russell place and doing it over. Have a real establishment. That is, if Miss Cherry'd like it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, Tyler.
Might even arrange to buy Zeke and Zach from you then, Doctor.
You do count on making a fortune in California, don't you? Well, here's to your success, sir.
The best time to ask him is right after a meal. Folks always feels good then.
Tomorrow morning, right after breakfast.
So soon?
The longer we wait, the lesser gold there'll be in California.
Makes my mouth dry just to think about it.
The least he can say is no.
Will you do the talking, Zeke?
I'll do the broaching. You back me up.
Yeah, I'll back you up, sure.
And I'll do the praying for you both.
Tyler Preston is a fine, upstanding young man. Good family, good education, and good habits.
I agree with you, Annie, but I want more than that in the man I marry. I want someone who's sure of himself, who doesn't jump this way and that every time the wind blows. Someone who'll make me excited at the very thought of marrying him.
Excited? Oh, marriage is a business, not a fancy dress ball. I declare, you younger generation are certainly getting some strange ideas. Why, in my day, such things were arranged for the children, and there was no argument.
Now, Carolyn, don't get yourself upset. Times are changing, and I, for one, am in favor of it. I never did feel that marriage should be put on the same level with raising horses. Oh, speaking of horses, Zeke, tell Zach I want to talk to him about that gray mare.
Zach's already here, sir, waiting to see you. We both is. What I means is, there's something we want to talk about, Moss Henry. Zach!
What is it? Something wrong? What have you two been up to?
We ain't been up to nothing, Miss Caroline. That is nothing wrong.
No, ma'am, sure ain't.
Well, speak up, Zeke.
Oh, you've been mighty kind to us, Moss Henry. Ain't a better mouser in all Kentucky than you is.
And that's the truth.
Of all the slaves we know, there's none better treated than me and Zach.
It sure ain't.
But
what?
We still is slaves.
Of course.
We's owned by someone that can buy us and sell us.
You needn't be afraid. I'd never sell either of you boys as long as I can help it.
Not even to Mr. Tyler, if that's what's worrying you.
Moss Henry, we wants to be free. We want to belong to ourselves. We want to go where we like, stay where we like, get married as we like, have children. That's free.
I never heard of such impertinence.
Not impertinence, my dear Carolyn, but a very natural desire. I sympathize with you boys. Every man feels the same way, regardless of race or color. If I could afford it, I'd set you free myself. But I'm just a hard-working doctor.
Who can't collect his bills.
But we ain't asking you to give us our freedom, Moss Henry.
No, sir. We wants to buy it.
Buy it? With what?
With gold. If Moss Henry will just, what's that word?
Grub steak.
That's it. If Moss Henry will just grub stick Zach and me to California, why, we'll gather enough gold to buy our freedom papers.
That's the most preposterous suggestion I ever heard.
California's a long way off, boys. Even after you got out there, it wouldn't be as easy as you think.
The gold is just laying all over the ground, Moss Tyler say.
Mr. Tyler hopes.
You can't believe all those tales you hear about just picking it up.
We'll dig for it then.
It'll be a lot different than plantation life. Here you have warm quarters, plenty to eat. Out there you'd have to sleep on the cold ground, perhaps. Go hungry.
All them things we can stand, Moss Henry, if we're working for our freedom.
I don't know why you sit there, Henry, and allow them to argue. The doctor has patients waiting for him. And there's plenty of work waiting for you in the kitchen, Rebby. Tell him the whole idea is impossible, Henry.
Why is it?
Moss Henry!
You wouldn't let them go. Our two most valuable slaves.
Of course, there'd have to be details worked out.
Have you lost your senses, Henry Cabell? But these slaves are worth at least $1,200 apiece.
We'll earn it. Just give us our chance.
Very well, I will.
Moss Henry, the best mossa in the whole South.
Praise the Lord. Father, you're wonderful.
From the sunny south, the scene now shifts to the gold camp of Hangtown, California, in the winter of 1849. The first of California's unusual winters. For weeks on end, it has rained without let-up. What with the mud and freezing cold, mining has become impossible. Those who didn't quit camp altogether try to forget the misery of the weather in the company of places like the El Dorado.
Hey, shut that door.
We just step inside, sir, to get out of the rain for a minute.
Get over there by the stove.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Here, move up closer. You're shaking like a pair of dice.
And dripping like a couple of watering cans.
Do it always rain like this in California?
I ain't seen the sun since I came here in 48. We sent out a pair of doves last week to try to locate some dry land. They ain't never come back. Drowned, I guess.
Let's see your papers.
Papers, sir?
Runaway slaves, that's what you are.
No, sir, we're not.
You are slaves.
Yes, sir.
And you ain't got any freedom papers?
No, but,
I know it. Could tell it just as soon as they walked in here. It'll go hard for them, believe me, when they're sent back to their owners. And I'm taking you in right now, till I get word to the authorities and collect the reward.
Hold it, Pike.
Who are you? Where you from?
Louisville, sir.
Kentucky.
What's your names?
Zach?
Zeke.
Well, which is it?
Zeke.
Zach.
Make up your minds.
My name is Zach. It's short for Zachariah, sir.
My name is Zeke, short for Ezekiel.
Good old Bible names, huh?
Yes, sir. My mammy, she opened up the Bible every time she have a new child born and name it from the book she opened up to.
That don't make 'em honest. Shut up. What are you doing out here in California?
Our Martha, Dr. Henry Cabell, sent us out to give us a chance to earn our freedom.
They're lying. No man in his right mind would trust them. I said shut up.
Yes, sir. This will explain.
They're telling the truth. How much gold you got to dig?
$1,250 each. That's what we worth on the market.
And $500 each the doctor advanced us for traveling money, too, sir.
$3,500, huh?
Yes, sir.
How long you figure it takes to dig that much gold, boss?
In this weather, there's no use trying to dig any gold. You'll have to wait for spring.
We ain't got time to wait, sir.
No, sir. We got to get going.
Well, there's nobody stopping you. If you're willing to go out and buck this infernal cold and wet.
But it really ain't worth it, boys. You'll be lucky if you take out an ounce a day.
Yeah, and what's a measly ounce of gold?
It have one fuel link, boss, in the chain what holds us.
And so, all during that miserable winter of 1849, while the other men of Hangtown loafed around the saloons and gambling joints, spending their money and cursing the weather, Zeke and Zach worked in the freezing mud of the creek beds, picking out their ounce or two of gold each day. And each night in their little shack, they carefully added it to their slowly but steadily growing savings.
Be careful, Zach. You want to blow out day scrapings all over the cabin?
Sorry, Zeke. Old chilblains in my feet. It's creeping up to my head.
There.
Getting heavy. You think we ought to have Mr. Putty, the bartender, to weigh it up for us again?
We don't need to. We weighed it ourselves.
What are you talking about? We ain't got no gold scales. Couldn't read them if we did have.
That's what you think. Mr. Putty weighed this up, make this up for us today. You folks that can't read can read this. Now, you put the gold on that end. Now, put the rock on this end. Mr. Putty say, when the gold balances the rock, we got $3,500 worth.
Well, I'll be doggone.
Now, I'll put these on. Add a little more. Put this one on. Put this. Damn! We only need that much more gold and it's free men.
Free men. Them is the sweetest sounding words I ever heard. It makes me feel so revitalized, I forget all about my old chilblain feet and my aching back.
Also, the weather here has been very severe this winter. And mining activity is practically at a standstill until spring comes.
So you can see, Terry, that there's a great deal more to acquiring a fortune in gold than the stories would lead you to believe. And that law practice in Louisville looks better to me with each passing day. If things don't give more promise in the Hangtown district, you may have a chance to say, I told you so, before very long. Respectfully, Tyler.
He don't say nothing about meeting up with Zeke and Zach.
California's a big country, Ribby.
Oh, Zeke and Zach. I can see him now, cold and stiff with freezing. Oh, woe is me.
Oh, hush up, Reddy. If they haven't sense enough to get in out of the cold, then they ought to freeze. Now, you get back to the kitchen.
Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, Zeke and Zach. Oh, Zeke and Zach.
Poor Dr. Cabell. Alive or frozen, we'll never see those two slaves again. All the money for their freedom.
You in or out, mister?
Hello, boys. How's it going mining?
It's mighty tough, Mr. Putty, but we's persistent.
Would you mind if we stand here for a spell? Gets pretty lonesome sitting in that old cabin every night.
Help yourselves. Stay as long as you like.
Thank you, sir.
Whipsawed again.
Zach, look at there. Moss Tyler.
Confound my luck anyway.
Howdy, Moss Tyler. Say, Zeke. Gosh, Moss Tyler, it sure is good to see a face around here we know.
It's good to see you boys, too. Miss Sherry wrote me you'd come west, and I wondered where you wound up.
We wind up right here in Hangtown, Moss Tyler. Ain't been no place else.
But we getting ready to go home now, though.
Well, I don't blame you. This weather's enough to discourage anybody.
Oh, we ain't discouraged, Moss Tyler. We's joyful.
Yes, sir. We got more than $3,000 saved up, according to our calculation.
3,000?
Yes, sir.
You mean you've worked in this cold and rain?
Every day.
Well, I must say you deserve plenty of credit. Who's taking care of it for you? The bartender?
No, sir. We's taking care of it ourselves.
We got it hid in a safe place.
Well, seeing you're on the chips, how about a little loan?
Loan?
Not all of it. Say, just 1,000. Gee, I've had a streak of bad luck tonight, but I've got a feeling it's due for a change.
I'm sorry, Moss Tyler, but this here's our freedom gold.
I'll give it back to you. It's just a loan.
We are sorry, sir.
What are you trying to do? Set yourselves up to be as good or better than I am?
No, sir.
Well, then do as I say.
We's worked and froze to this gold, Moss Tyler, and we gotta have it to make us free.
So you refuse? Well, wait till Dr. Cabell hears about this. I doubt very much if he'll sell you your freedom then.
Come on, let's go back to the cabin. I don't feel lonely no more. I sure hope Moss Tyler don't get Moss when they're done. Mr. Price, what are you doing with our gold? Zach, are you low down white trash? You give us our gold. I'm gonna have law on you, Chris. From your out to steal our spices. You give us our spices. You give me this stuff now.
Here, what you need is a drink.
No, thank you, sir. Liquor's against our religion.
Did you catch him?
No, by the time we got to his cabin, he packed his stuff and skipped.
He's halfway across the mountains by now. Too bad, boys. Looks like your gold is gone for good.
It's all my fault. I had no right to ask you for it, especially in public.
If we'd had any sense, we'd have kept our mouths shut about having it.
Well, the weather will be getting better pretty soon. Won't take you as long to dig that much again.
No, sir. We's through digging. Way we interpolate's the Lord's way of telling us to go back to Mars Henry and be content with being slaves.
We ain't got the sense it takes to be free.
All we have to do is stay out here.
No, sir. We gives Mars Henry our promise and we keeps it.
We want to thank you, gentlemen, for trying to help us.
Can you imagine going back to be slaves again? Darned if I would. Promise or no promise.
If I hadn't gambled away my money, I'd make it up to them.
That gold ring you wearing would help, if you care to contribute. Anything anybody gives would help. $3,500 ain't much. I've seen $3,500 worth of booze go down your throats in one night. $3,500 change hands and the game is stud. $3,500 is just $3,500 to most folks. But to Zeke and Zach, it's the difference between being slaves and going free. So step up, boys, and shell out. I'll start off with $200 and free drinks to everybody who contributes.
Gabby, go out and round up the rest of the boys. Come on, fellas, let's make him pour drinks to his army.
Zeke, what do you figure we done? Bring down this cash to Stroby on our head like this?
Now, don't you go question the ways of the Lord. He know what he's doing. Folks get just what they deserves anyway.
I suppose you're right. But I sort of feel this time he's keeping it on kind of heavy.
Boys, we've got a little something here for you.
For us, boy?
Yep, on behalf of the El Dorado Saloon and its customers.
This for us?
Yep, and there's more than enough there to make up for what you lost.
White folks do this for us.
It's a white man robbed you, wasn't it?
No, he was yellow.
Now you can go home and buy your freedom.
You hear that, Zeke?
Freedom.
Boss, we're practically on our way.
No, we ain't. We're gonna send this home and stay right here and scratch up enough to pay back every gentleman who contributed.
That isn't necessary, Zeke. We were all happy to give.
We don't doubt that, sir. But it make us happy to show our appreciation by paying it back. When you leaving for home, Marse Tyler?
As soon as I can scrape together enough money.
Do you mind toting this home to Marse Henry for us?
Me? Of course, there's Wells Fargo, but Wells Fargo's a stranger to us.
And you our folks.
Well, Caroline, you see, you were wrong.
I was right about one thing. You'll never see those two slaves again.
What Miss Caroline mean, Marse Tyler? Ain't Zeke and Zach coming home?
I'm afraid not, Rebby. See, they feel they made a lot of friends out there, and well, they might stay for good.
Oh. Well, I guess it's their right, now that they're free.
Maybe they'll earn enough to buy your freedom, Rebby.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? Do you think they could, Marse Tyler?
Oh, undoubtedly. But that won't be necessary, Rebby. I'm giving you your freedom now.
You is? Oh, Tyler.
On one condition. That you go out and join your brothers in California.
Oh, Master Tyler.
And cook for those miners. Now, they could stand some real good Southern home cooking. They've earned it.
Oh, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
It's not worth very much, but it's all I had to put in.
If you'll excuse me, I have some patients to call on.
Well, go ahead and say it. I told you so.
I don't think I will.
Oh, but you were right about my making the trip.
No, I was wrong. I never would have married the man who went to California, Tyler. But I'd be proud to marry the man who came back.
Jerry.
Tyler.
Yes, every man has a right to be free. And if he's willing to work for it, he'll get his freedom somehow. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. The year is 1904. The whole Death Valley region is seething with excitement over some big discoveries in the Funeral Mountains. Prospectors are swarming everywhere. New strikes coming in fast. Mines offered for sale. Keen-eyed engineers, representatives of big mining companies are in the field, competing in the scramble to acquire properties. This is the situation at the opening of our story. Lady Engineer.
Why, Mr. Kramer, you've hardly touched your breakfast. It's not bad news.
That depends. I just received this letter from the Big Four office in San Francisco.
Mary Granger, E.M.
That stands for mining engineer.
A woman mining engineer? She's coming out here? What for?
To get field experience. She's the boss's daughter, Ivy, and well-trained. Graduated from one of the best schools of mines in the country. I've known Mary ever since she was a little girl in pigtails.
Well, what does she look like now?
You'll see for yourself. She's arriving tomorrow. She'll be taking her meals here, I expect. Thank you, Ivy.
Hello, Kramer.
Morning, Evans.
Morning, beautiful.
Mr. Evans, guess what the Big Four is doing?
Pass me the prunes and tell me.
They're sending out a woman engineer.
A woman? Who is she?
Her name's Granger.
The old man's daughter?
Yes.
He must be losing his mind.
I thought you'd be interested, knowing what rivals Alpha and the Big Four are. Well, what would you like for breakfast, Mr. Evans?
Anything, sweetheart, anything. It'll all taste like duck soup.
I suppose you've inspected claims.
It was part of our field work in college.
These properties are up for real money. It's not students who are pitting their brains against yours. It's big mining companies like Alpha, loaded with Eastern capital.
You haven't much confidence in me, have you, Mr. Kramer?
Just trying to point out to you that the situation has changed since your father first started the Big Four. Oh, and you can call me Justin.
Thank you.
We're up against the stiffest kind of competition here, Mary. That Alpha crowd is buying up everything they can lay their hands on.
Well, then hadn't we better get going? Wherever we're going.
Howdy, Mr. Kramer.
Hello, Eli.
Darn windy, ain't it?
Certainly is. Eli, this is Miss Granger.
Well, Alva, the Colonel's daughter?
Yes.
You out here in Death Valley with your pa?
I'm working here.
For the Big Four. She'd like to examine your claim, Eli.
Well, I got the assay reports right here.
I'd like to take my own samples and have them assayed.
Just as you say.
I'll see you later at the office.
Very well. I see you call your claim the world beater.
On account of how it is. Richest deposit's been uncovered in Death Valley since the Keen Wonder. Worth all...
I'll be the judge of that.
Chip off the old block, ain't you?
I hope so.
I remember they used to say played with ore samples as a little girl instead of blocks.
I did. And I learned arithmetic by weighing nuggets on gold scales. $5,000 is my final offer.
Well, I was hoping to get more.
It's not worth any more.
You don't think so?
Eli, I've been over every inch of this claim.
That you have, miss, with your own little kid.
Well, $5,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's not as much as $12,000.
$12,000?
That's what Alpha offered. Their man Paul Evans was here this morning.
You're bluffing, Eli. You can't fool me.
Fool you? I ain't trying to fool you. I got the bill of sale right here.
You mean you've let me stand here and bargain with you for 2 hours and then all the time the mine was sold?
Well, I was just admiring your technique, miss.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
You're pretty good, you know, for a girl.
And for 2 hours, Eli argued price with her when he already had it sold.
May I sit here?
Oh, certainly.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kramer. Just.
Will you introduce me?
Miss Granger, Mr. Evans.
I've been wanting to meet you, but we always manage to miss each other. I'm either too early or you're too late.
Will you excuse me?
You know, I've heard of sending a boy to market. The Big Four sends a girl.
Don't forget, Evans. She's the old man's daughter. And whether you think so or not, she knows her onions. Property's right here in Furnace Creek Wash.
Behind those limestone hills. I know the location.
You've really learned your way around these past few weeks.
In more ways than one.
The owners have sunk a 75-foot shaft.
You've already examined the mine?
Now, I've been there several times. I've done some preliminary negotiating.
And you just want my opinion, is that it?
Before I make them a firm offer? Yes. I suspect Alpha's hot on this one, too. So step on.
I'll go down right away and bring you back a report.
I'm ready to write you fellows out a check right now to bind the bargain. Start writing.
Hold on, Tom. You've got that other iron in the fire, don't forget.
We can't wait forever on that.
Yeah, but Kramer said...
Oh, so it's the Big Four.
Yeah. They're sending up another engineer today to take a final look.
He'll never top Mr. Evans' offer.
Just the same, we told him we'd hold off.
You say that other engineer's due today?
Anytime now.
That's not Mr. Kramer himself. No, his sidekick. Oh, well. In fairness to everyone, suppose we do this. Let's set a deadline. Say sundown tonight. That's fair enough.
It's all right with me.
Good. I'll be at your shack at sundown to get your answer.
Meanwhile, I'll go on up to the Ruby Lou. It's another claim we're working.
I'll wait here for the Big Four engineer.
Fine.
Tom, how would you like to make a quick $1,000? Well, I'd like that just fine. It didn't bring the sheriff in on me. It won't. Just make sure that Big Four engineer doesn't show up before sundown. I think that can be arranged. And, no need to mention this to your partner. Well, no need at all. kind of awkward, you turning out to be a woman.
There's no sex in mining, Mr. McKinney.
Now, what I mean is the only way we got of getting down the shaft is in the ore bucket.
I've ridden in ore buckets all my life.
If my partner was here, one of us could go down with you.
I prefer to go alone.
Yes, ma'am. Careful now. Hold tight. You got your flashlight?
Of course. I know what I'm doing, Mr. McKinney.
Now, that's good.
I'll signal to you when I'm ready to come up.
Something's stuck.
Can't you fix it?
I'm trying to. I'm afraid if I force it, the whole darn thing will give away.
Don't do that. There's a big drop below me.
Yeah, it's about 50 feet at least.
Better hold me up again.
Can't budge the thing either way. I better go fetch my partner. This looks like a job for two.
But don't leave me down here.
He's only a couple of miles from here.
Don't leave me! Stop! Mr. McKinney!
You'll be all right. That rope's good and strong. Hello? Anybody around?
Help! Help! Help!
Mary, what happened?
The windlass got jammed. Tom went to fetch his partner. Oh, Justin, thank heaven you came.
You sit tight.
Sit tight. What do you think I've been doing for the past 4 hours? Look out!
There's nothing wrong with this crank. It works perfectly. You all right?
So he did it on purpose. I thought there was something awfully queer about this.
You didn't pass any of the Alpha crowd on the way over here.
No. Justin, you don't believe...
I wouldn't put any kind of skullduggery past Paul Evans. Come on, let's get over to Tom and Jerry's shack.
Hello, Kramer. Good evening, Miss Granger. Lovely night, isn't it? Did you enjoy the sunset?
No, I missed it.
Too bad, it was magnificent.
That's all right. There'll be others. Those we won't miss.
Good night.
Oh, Miss Granger.
I didn't recognize you with your clothes on. I mean, are you going somewhere?
Yes, to San Francisco to visit my family.
Oh, well, have a nice time.
Oh, Mary?
I was just on my way over to see you.
Well, you sure look nice.
This is awfully short notice, I know, but I'm resigning my job.
Because of what happened yesterday?
I've been a dead loss to you, Justin. I've failed completely. I've let my father down, too, which makes me feel terrible.
Nobody wins all the time, Mary. You gotta expect setbacks.
But this is no place for a woman.
Well, I won't argue with you there.
Then you don't think I'm a quitter.
No. If I were in your place, I'd want to go to San Francisco, too. And have the kind of a life a glamorous girl should have.
May I have the honor?
Mr. Evans. How in the world do you happen to be here at the charity ball?
I bought a ticket for $50.
I'm amazed.
That I could afford it?
That you'd be interested in anything held for charity.
Well, there's a very charitable side to my nature.
Really?
You'll discover that when you get to know me better.
Aren't you taking a good deal for granted?
You dance divinely.
Did you follow me to San Francisco, Mr. Evans?
No, you're taking an awful lot for granted. I did see your name in the paper as one of the patronesses for this ball.
Well?
I admire you more than any girl I've ever met. You have brains and courage, and you're very beautiful.
Compliments from the enemy camp.
We don't have to be enemies. We can be friends.
Don't tell me you'd like a job with the Big Four.
Mary,
You'd have to ask my father about that.
will you listen to me?
Only if you don't talk business.
When are you coming back to Death Valley?
I'm having a wonderful time here, being a butterfly.
But you are coming back.
I've made no plans.
Miss Granger, please. Thank you.
Why, she's a raving beauty. Just goes to show you what money will do for you. Said she was just going home on a little visit. But it's a sin she won't be coming back. Do you suppose so?
I doubt it very much, Abby.
Mr. Evans said he was going on business. Look at that smile. Cat that ate the canary. Well, at least we're here to console each other.
Hey, Smitty, come in here.
You called, sir?
Mary,
Hello, Justin.
you've come back.
I couldn't stay away.
Oh, Mary.
I realized I'd been a quitter.
Oh. You want your job again?
If you'll take me.
Well, here, sit down.
By the way, here's a wire for you from Father. It caught up with me at the stage depot.
He's giving me carte blanche in the Blue Bottle deal.
Blue Bottle?
Uh-huh. It's a new strike up beyond Daylight Pass. The richest one yet. Big Four's got to get it. Says to use my own judgment as to price. He's going to back me up to the limit.
That must be the property Paul was hinting at.
Mm-hmm. I understand he's on tenterhooks, too, waiting for authorization. You been hearing from him?
He writes. Quite often. Justin, may I go with you?
Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't, I guess. Shake a leg.
On account of being Sunday, the office in New York was closed, but they've got my wire by now, and I expect an answer right away.
You didn't have to make a special trip all the way up here just to tell me that.
I don't want any misunderstandings. They'll agree, I'm sure, to $150,000.
I hope.
In the meantime, you'll sit tight, sell to nobody else.
Take lightly.
That's a promise?
Sure.
Good.
Sorry, I ain't entertaining any more offers.
You've sold the mine?
Good as sold. Just waiting for the final word.
Alpha.
I'm naming no names, but they're paying me a handsome price. I'm sorry you folks had a wild goose chase up here.
Mr. Perry.
There's no use dickering, ma'am.
We're not going to dicker. We're going to make you a flat offer.
But I gave this other party an option.
Have you got something I can write on? Mr. Perry, I'm going to write a figure on the back of this envelope. If it's higher than the price that Alpha has offered, will you take it?
Who said anything about Alpha?
If it tops their price, do we get the mine?
Ain't likely you'll top it.
Well, Mr. Perry?
Well, I reckon... that is... Sure.
That's a promise.
Yep.
You're the witness to it.
$199,999. How did you ever come to set a price like that?
I like writing nines.
Hey, what kind of a deal is this?
It's on the level, Perry. This lady's the old man's daughter.
No. By Harry, ma'am, you own it.
Hey, Perry! It's all right. The deal's all set. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. We're pretty happy about it ourselves. Temporary bill of sale to the Big Four.
The Big Four? Why, you double-dealing desert rat. You gave me your word.
Well, I never dreamed they'd offer more than you had. Honest.
Honest? And as for you, Kramer...
Don't jump on him. As the young lady called the turn. A real cool gambler she is. Goes it blind for top stakes.
As I remarked to you once before, Evans, she knows her onions.
Paul? You wanted to talk to me?
Yes.
I don't blame you for being sore at me.
Perry, I'm sore at. To you, I take off my hat.
That's very charitable of you.
You remember that night at the ball? I told you I had a very charitable side to my nature. I said, too, I wanted to be friends. Now I want more than that. I want to be partners.
Partners?
We'd make a great combination, Mary. Together we could lick the world, Evans and Granger.
Or Granger and Evans.
Sure, whichever.
I'm afraid I'm rather dense, Paul. Are you proposing?
Darling.
I'm sorry, Paul. The answer is no.
I'm afraid I put it very badly.
On the contrary, you've made everything quite plain, including myself. Good night, Paul.
Mary.
Well, gave you the mitten, did she? Well, cheer up. There are other fish in the sea.
You're resigning again.
Yes, for good this time.
Why? Why in the name of good sense when you've just pulled off a coup any man would be proud of?
You wouldn't understand.
Look, you wanted to prove yourself as a mining engineer. Well, you have.
Mary Granger, EM. But what about ME?
What do you mean?
Me. Mary Granger, 24 and single. There's no satisfaction in beating men at their own game, Justin. I'm going back to San Francisco and try to be a success as a woman.
You don't have to go to San Francisco, darling. You've got that chance. Right here.
And that's the true story of the first woman mining engineer in Death Valley. And for all I know, the last.
Howdy. I'm the old ranger, and Death Valley's my stamping ground. Many's the tale of adventure I'm going to tell you about the Death Valley country. True stories, mind you. I can vouch for that.
Little Oscar's Millions. It's the year 1908. The Nevada desert lies silent, empty under a burning sky, and then suddenly over the sagebrush telegraph flashes the news, gold, a new strike, and the mining camp of Rawhide is born.
Bid for this fine piece of business property. Do I hear six? Who'll make it six? Do I hear six? Who'll make it six? Who'll say six? Who'll say six? Do I hear six? Is there $6 in the crowd? Oh, come, gentlemen. This is real estate you're bidding on. The backbone of our country. Without real estate, we wouldn't have anything to stand on. You're not going to let this lot go for a paltry $5? Why, by tomorrow it'll be worth 50, and in a week 500. I got 5. Do I hear 6? Come, my friends. You can't buy if you don't speak up. And if you don't speak up, you kick yourself from here to Carson City. What am I bidding?
Oh, excuse me, mister. I'm sorry.
Hiya,
Two Bits. Hiya, ma'am.
Sold to the wise man with the burro for $6. Now, if you'll just step up here and give me your money, I'll write you out a receipt and give you a bill of sale for the property.
Here, you want to see? Hey, lady, put me down.
Let the little guy up front here where he can bid.
Go on, get in there, Two Bits. Oh, I don't want to bid. I ain't interested in any city lots. I just came to watch.
All right, folks, now let's get on with the bidding. Lot 3, lot 63. Right smack in the middle of town on Rawhide Avenue. What am I bid?
$5.
6.
7.
8.
10.
12.
15.
The gentleman bids 15. Do I hear 16? Oh, come, gentlemen. This is one of the choicest lots in town. Right in the heart of Rawhide. All right, who say 16? Do I hear 16? 16.
17.
18. All right, I got 18. Who say 20? Who say 20? Only $20 for a choice lot that will soon become the Queen City of the Desert. Going at 18 once? Chance of a lifetime, mister. Rawhide's grown at the rate of 100 a day. Telegraph lines are on their way in. Well, Going at 18 twice?
What do you say, stranger? Want to go shares?
Gosh, I've only got about $10 to my name.
Going at 18 the third and last time? Are you all through? Are you all done?
20.
All right, I got 20. Anybody make it 21? Are you all done? Going at 20 once? Going at 20 twice? Third and last call? Sold for $20 to Mr.
Eddie Newcomen.
Little Oscar. I mean, Oscar Little.
Pleased to meet you, partner.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hiya, Two Bits. How's the big real estate operator?
Well, we already been offered $500 for this lot, but Eddie's holding out for more. He says we're going to make a fortune.
Well, look me up if you do. I'd like to be the first to congratulate you.
Thank you, Miss...
Ruby's the name. I'll be working right across the street in the dance hall they're putting up, the Stingery. Stop around and see me.
Thank you, ma'am.
In no time at all, using new lumber and old, even building some deserted mining camps, the town of Rawhide sprang from the sand and sagebrush with the usual quota of dance halls and gambling joints. And right in the middle of them was little Oscar's vacant lot.
Eureka! Dance, partner! Kick up the heels! Sing! Yell! Eureka!
Eureka!
Ain't you glad we held on now like I said we should? Instead of selling out for some measly sum?
You mean we sold our lot?
For $46,500.
$46,500?
Spot cash?
But who?
Riley Grannon, a famous gambler. Building a big place here, biggest in Rawhide.
$46,500 split two ways.
Is $23,250 apiece. And you'd have sold out for $5,000.
I'd have sold out for $500. Why, the most money I ever had in my whole life at once was $100.
Well, you're in the chips now, partner.
I can hardly believe it's real. Me. Oscar Little.
Well, take care of it. So long.
You mean you're leaving Rawhide?
You bet. Hightailing it back to Denver to my wife and kids.
Oh, but can't we go someplace and have a drink to celebrate?
Afraid I won't have time. Stage leaves in 15 minutes. Good luck, Oscar.
Goodbye, Eddie.
Well, here's mud in your eye and dust in your poke.
Drinks for everybody. Come on, bartender, set them up.
Thanks, stranger.
Stranger? Why, I was here when this town was born. I'm one of the founders. Sure, bought one of the first lots. And I just sold it at 200,000% profit.
Hey, what's going on around here?
Hello, Miss Ruby. Will you join us in a drink?
Sure. Who's buying?
I am.
That belongs to you, Two Bits?
Yep. What do you have?
Let you and me go somewhere where we can be a little cozier. This will take care of the bar bill.
You take care of the rest, eh, Ruby?
Now, where'd you get all this? Hold up a stage?
No, not you.
We sold our lot, Ruby. I got $23,250. Did you say $23,250? Yep.
And it's all here?
All except the $10 you gave the bartender.
You know, Two Bits, I had a feeling the day I picked you up that you was a man to keep an eye on. Hey, Mandy, bring us a bottle of your best and a couple of glasses.
You mean you're going to help me celebrate?
You bet I am. I'm going to make this a day you'll never forget.
Yes, sir. Little old Eddie's on his way to Denver by now. You know something? I kind of envy him.
Oh, what's so wonderful about Denver?
I mean, having a wife and kids.
Oh, shouldn't be hard to find yourself a wife. Kids, of course, take time.
All my life I've dreamed of being rich. And now that it's happened, I feel kind of lost without having someone to rejoice with.
Oh, I'm rejoicing.
I mean someone close to me, not like a friend.
Ain't you got a family?
I did have once upon a time in upstate New York. But I ain't seen or heard from them since I ran away from home 33 years ago.
Well, didn't you never write them?
Never had nothing to tell them till now. It's nice of you to waste your time sitting here talking to me like this, Ruby.
Oh, shucks, Two Bits. It's my pleasure.
You're a fine girl. Finest I ever met.
You're drunk.
No, I ain't. I mean it. And you're pretty, too.
I was, once.
You are now, to me. And you're kind, and generous, and honest.
Not to talk to me that way. I ain't used to it.
Just the same, it's the truth. If it hadn't been for you, I never would have even bought that lot. The auctioneer might never have even seen me. So I want you to take some of that money.
You do?
Yeah. You earned it just as much as I did.
Here, you little half-pint. I don't want none of it. Now go pack your stuff and get out of town as fast as you can.
Out of town? What for?
For your own good. Go back east. Visit your family. Be with somebody close to you.
You know something, Ruby? That's a good idea. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, don't thank me. Just get going. And keep that money in your pocket. With a safety pin on it.
Almost before he could realize it, Oscar Little was aboard a train headed east, trusting that some of his folks were still living in the same town. And sure enough, they were.
Business is business, Carl. Facts are facts. This note is long overdue, and I'm here to collect it.
I know how you feel, Myron, but can't you give me another 30 days?
Please, just another 30 days.
I've already given you 60. I can't see what good another 30 will do.
But I'll raise the money somehow.
Somehow.
That's what you said the last time. I am a practical man, Carl. Personally, you're a very fine fellow. But from a business standpoint, you're a mighty poor risk. I just cannot let this note run another day.
But we just don't have the money now, Mr. Welsh.
Then I'll have to attach what property you do have.
You mean take the livery stable?
Oh, you can't do that, Mr. Welsh.
Oh, no.
Well, goodness knows I don't want to. With a horse and buggy on its way out, it certainly isn't worth much. But I'm a businessman, and a half a loaf is better than none at all.
Oh, dear.
It's my living, Myron. You want to ruin me?
You're already ruined.
Don't you talk to him like that.
It's high time that you quit wishing for miracles and come to realize that... What did you say?
I said, don't you talk to him like that.
Mr. Little here happens to owe me $6,000, and I don't see why.
Oh, is that all? Well. The way you were squawking, I'd have thought it was $1 million. There's your $6,000. Now get out of here. I said get out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's quite right about a livery stable being a back number, Carl. You ought to switch to automobiles. Here. This'll buy you several as a starter. Nice little place you've got here. Needs fixing up, though. We'll take care of that right away.
Excuse me, if I'm not too curious. Just who are you?
Me? Why, I'm your brother Oscar.
You made your fortune, I understand, Mr. Little, in gold mines.
Real estate.
You're not married, Mr. Little?
No, indeed. In my busy life, I've had very little time for matrimony.
He owns all of Rawhide, Nevada.
Did own, my dear. I sold out at the peak.
Was that one of your biggest deals, sir?
Yes, indeed. I sunk a great deal of capital in Rawhide. I could foresee its future as Queen City of the Desert. My investment yielded a profit of 200,000%.
Now, if you'll stop asking questions for a minute, chin up a little higher, Mr. Little. That's it. You, step in closer.
Oh, I don't belong. I'm just watching.
Oh, I thought you were one of the family. Well, then stand away a little. Oh, that cap and goggles cover your face too much, Mr. Little. Will you take them off, please?
No, sir. They're the very latest things, and I'm going to wear them.
Very well.
Wouldn't you rather be photographed with your coat off, Mama? The temperature's almost 100.
The first fur coat I've ever owned in my life? I should say not. Not if the temperature's 200.
Now, will you please stop talking and take your positions? Yeah, that's it. Now, if you'll all be looking at Mr. Little. No, Mr. Oscar Little. Yes, that's it. All right, now. Hold it. Very still. One.
Where do you want this new settee, Mrs. Little?
Right over here.
Please, Mrs. Little, I'm trying to take a picture.
I'm sorry. Right over there.
All right, now, shall we try it again? Hold it. One. All right, now, this is it.
Oh!
Oh, my goodness.
A gramophone! Oh, Uncle Oscar! Oh!
And I bought you 100 records to go with it.
Oh, Johnny, did you hear that? Imagine Eden. Oh, just put it over there, please.
Hold it.
You want to see if this is the right color for the shutters, Mrs. Little?
It's a perfectly lovely color. Now get out. Get out of here! I came here to take a picture, and I'm going to take a picture. All right, now. Don't anybody dare move. Thank you very much.
And since it was the first time Oscar had ever hit the front page, he couldn't resist sending a copy of the paper to Ruby in Rawhide.
Buying fur coats and diamond rings for his sister-in-law?
That's what it says.
And you let him slip right through our fingers. Ruby, how could you?
Really throwing the money around, little two-bitses.
having a fling for the first time in his sawed-off life. Loving every minute of it.
Yes, sir. Oscar had never been so happy, even though his money was evaporating like water.
Can't ask you to marry me, Hazel, the way things are. I've got nothing to offer you.
What difference does that make, Johnny? So long as we love each other.
Wouldn't be right. Fella's got to be able to support his wife.
Well, you're going to make money, Johnny. That invention of yours. It'll be a world beater.
Sure, if ever I can get it on the market. But that takes capital. It may be years.
Darling, don't say that. We can't go on waiting and waiting till we're old.
Excuse me for butting in, kids. I couldn't help but overhear. I have a sharp ear for business investments. What is this invention of yours, Johnny? An egg beater, did she say?
It's a new type of can opener.
Well, they certainly could use them on the desert. Has it been approved?
Yes, sir. I could have sold the patent outright, but...
But you wanted to hang on to it and reap the benefit. How much do you need, Johnny?
Oh, Uncle Oscar.
Oh, no, sir.
Well, why not? I've been looking around for a good investment. What do you need, Johnny?
Oh, quite a lot.
Well, I only happen to have about $4,500 on me at the moment.
4,000 would be plenty.
Well, fine. Here, take the lot. Use the other 500 for a honeymoon. And keep it working for you. Don't let it lie idle.
Don't you want a receipt?
Receipt? Don't believe in them. I go by a man's face, not his handwriting.
Uncle Oscar, are you sure you're not doing this just out of...
Sentiment? I never heard of the word. I learned a long time ago not to let personal feelings enter into business transactions. That's the reason for my big success. Hello? Give me the telegraph office. I want to send a telegram to little Oscar Little, Care Car Little, Highland Road, this town. Big merger coming up. Imperative that you return to Nevada pronto. Pronto. Right away.
We sure hate to see you go, Oscar.
Business is business.
Sure.
If we didn't attend to it, we'd soon be bankrupt.
I wish you'd change your mind and let me drive you to the depot in one of my new autos.
No, thanks, Carl. I'd rather walk.
Then let us walk with you.
And see you off.
I don't like to say goodbye in public. I might make a fool of myself. Well?
Oscar, I can never thank you for what you've done for me.
Think nothing of it, Carl.
It's been just like Christmas and Thanksgiving and the 4th of July all rolled into one having you here. I don't mean just the money either.
Sure has changed things for me.
Shucks, boy. All I did was give you a little hand. And that's all anyone needs in this big, wonderful country of ours. A start. An opportunity. I ought to know. I started out with nothing at all. And look at me now.
Come again, Oscar.
Remember, this is your home, no matter what.
Thanks, folks.
Good old Oscar.
Dear Oscar.
Wonderful, wonderful Uncle Oscar.
And so back to Nevada went Oscar Little, in what you might call a private car, or maybe a side-door Pullman. And from the railroad, he struck out across the desert on foot for Rawhide.
Oscar! Oscar! Hey, stop the stage! Stupid!
Ruby, what are you going in that direction for? You ain't leaving Rawhide.
Well, everybody's leaving Rawhide. There was a big fire, wiped the whole place out.
Well, they can build it up again, can't they?
Rawhide was through. One of those camps that was just a flash in the pan.
Hey, Ruby, hurry up.
We're all going back to Goldfield. Come along, there's room.
Oh, fine.
It'll only cost you $10.
Oh, I guess maybe I'll walk.
It's 100 miles.
Well, I feel like stretching my legs a little after sitting on the train for so long.
You broke 2 bits.
Flat. Stony. But anyway, it was worth it. If I had the chance, I'd do it all over again.
Maybe you will.
I doubt it. But anyway, I've got something nice to remember for the rest of my life.
Hey, Ruby, get aboard.
I'll stake you to the ride.
I'll see you in Goldfield.
All right, 2 bits. See you in Goldfield.
There are lots of folks who wind up just as they started out, but I sincerely doubt that many of them feel as happy about it as little Oscar.
And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country.
If some high mucky muck from the Society Islands way out there in the Pacific Ocean hadn't ordered himself a gorgeous red fire engine, you wouldn't be hearing this story tonight. It's laid in the famous gold camp of Columbia, California, and it's called Little Pepe.
Twice in its short lifetime, the town had been completely wiped out by fire. Once in 1854 and again in 1857. It is now the year 1859. Once more, the town is built up. Men are working and men are eating.
I remember the day I arrived here from Connecticut. The town was still smoking like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, I don't know why you're likening it to them 2 cities, Miss Pellet.
You would if you'd read your Bible, because they were sinks of iniquity just like this town, and they were destroyed by a rain of brimstone.
Columbia's no sink. It wasn't destroyed by a rain of brimstone. It was a spark from Old Man Edwards' pipe falling on a pile of shavings. Isn't that right, John?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Old Man Edwards started it with his pipe.
I didn't notice you in church this morning either, Mr. Haskell.
Well, I had a late night of it at the arena last night, watching the fight.
What fight?
Big grizzly bear and a 2-year-old bull.
How terrible.
No, it was pretty good. I had my money on the bull, but Philo here, he was betting. Ow!
Oh, you've got to be careful of those chairs, boy. I'm always running splinters in myself, too. Peach cobbler. Nobody makes peach cobbler like you, Miss Pellet.
fight between a bull and a bear. I think it's positively heathenish. And you pretend Columbia's no sink of iniquity.
Man has to have some diversion.
A town that has 30 saloons, 4 breweries, and 143 faro games.
Layout is the term. Faro layout. Now, if I had a wife and a home...
You'd better reform first.
You mean if I will,
We've
you'll...
been all over that before, Mr. Clark.
Oh, but women do change their minds sometimes.
I have no intention of marrying. I might be leaving Columbia pretty soon anyway.
You're moving away? Where to?
Sonora, maybe.
Sonora? Why, Sonora isn't half as rich as Columbia, nor half as big.
Size and wealth aren't everything, Mr. Clark. There are the finer things of life. Just as a matter of zoological interest, who won, the bull or the bear?
Hello, Judge.
Well, good day, Philo.
On official business, I see, huh?
Conflagration! Conflagration!
Conflagration, heck, it's a fire.
Fire!
Now, don't get excited. That's right. Scatter those flames and stamp those boxes out.
Gangway! Gangway!
Is that a pail of beer, Tom?
Sure is, Judge.
Oh, it's all right, Miss Pellet. We've got it under control.
That was a close one. What were you trying to do, Kitty? Burn up the town again?
Oh, thank you for coming to my rescue. I hope you didn't burn yourself, Mr. Clark.
Only my coat.
I've got some baking soda and bandages and...
What I need is a good stiff drink to get the smoke out of my throat.
There's plenty more beer where this came from. On the house. Splendid, splendid. I, too, feel somewhat dry from the exertion.
Twice now this town's been wiped out by fire. We can't run the risk of its happening again.
That's right.
You're absolutely right.
And what we need is a fire engine.
No more of your piddling bucket brigades.
You're right, boy.
This town rates a real fire engine.
Yes, sir.
Columbia, the gem of the mother lode.
Hey!
I don't care what she said.
But a fire engine will cost a lot of money.
Well, we'll raise it. I'll start the ball rolling with $100.
Here's 50.
Here's another 100.
How about you, Judge?
Well, I'd like nothing better than to contribute, but unfortunately, I'm not a man of means.
Then you can donate your services. Digging cisterns.
Cisterns? Digging? Me?
We'll need a lot of water for our engine.
This time we'll put you to hard labor, Judge.
But you haven't got your fire engine yet. You'll have to order it from back east. Why? Take at least a year.
Might be something in San Francisco. If anyone had the time to go up there.
Well, I'll go.
Good.
I'll be only too glad of an excuse to get away from here for a while. I'll take the stage out today.
That on, boy, Philo.
We're counting on you, Philo.
I'll do my best, boy.
Bye. Bye. Bon voyage.
Take care of the money.
You bet I will.
Is Mr. Clark going away?
Mm-hmm. Going to San Francisco.
He must have decided very suddenly. I was talking to him only this noon. He's not leaving for good.
Could be.
But...
Ah, Miss Pellet.
Oh, hello, Judge.
May I have the pleasure of escorting you to the evensong service?
Miss Pellet.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Judge?
I requested the pleasure of escorting you to the evensong service.
I'll go with you, Judge.
All the way to San Francisco, first by stagecoach, then by riverboat, Philo guarded the precious money. In San Francisco, he sought out the city fire chief.
We have just what you're looking for. One of the neatest, trimmest, prettiest little fire engines that ever threw water.
New?
Well, practically new.
How come you want to get rid of her?
Well, the fact is, she don't really belong to us. This engine was built back east and shipped around the Horn for the king or some high potentate in Tahiti.
Tahiti?
One of the Society Islands out in the Pacific Ocean. It was consigned to the city of Papeete. That's what she's called, Little Papeete.
See, well, how come she got sidetracked here?
Nobody seems to know, but she's been sitting on the dock for quite some time now. The shippers want to get rid of her, so if you folks want her...
Sold to the town of Columbia.
Sure, come right on.
A mining camp is no place for a lady unprotected.
If she's a lady, she is protected.
Yes, but what I mean is that...
Philo. Mr. Clark,
Oh, hello, Miss Pellet.
you've been away.
San Francisco.
Business?
Well, now it turned out to be pure pleasure.
You bring any pictures of her, Philo?
No, but she'll be coming down before long. You can see her for yourself.
Who is she?
Little Papeete.
Miss Pellet, I'm still waiting for my coffee.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. He said she was supposed to go to the king of Tahiti.
She must be a beauty if the king wanted her.
Wonderful color, I understand.
Brilliant. But it isn't just her color. It's her lines.
Graceful, eh?
Like a swan.
Well,
Trust she knows how to cook. This lady whose charms you were just describing, Miss Papeete. Or wasn't that the name?
Oh, that's the name. But she's no lady.
I might have guessed from what you said about her high color it must be paint.
Sure it's paint.
bright red.
Oh, don't look shocked, Miss Pellet. Papeete's a fire engine.
A fire engine.
Didn't I tell you that Columbia was the up-and-comingest camp in California?
It must have cost a fortune.
We all chipped in.
Well, Philo here gave $100.
Mr. Clark, you throw your money around like that and you'll...
Why not? There's nothing else I have to save it for. I can't think of anything I'd rather spend it on than little Papeete. Oh, she's a sweetheart.
They were good showmen, those men in early Columbia. They sneaked Papeete into town one night unannounced, hustled her into her new quarters, and kept her there behind locked doors until the day when the public was to have its first glimpse of her in all her glory. A general holiday was declared.
Ah, Miss Pellet. Well, nice to have you join us.
Oh, I'm so excited I could swoon. How come you're not marching?
Oh, it's only the boys in the engine company.
And you don't belong? The membership is limited. Oh.
Well, personally, I'd rather be standing here beside you, dear lady, than pushing a fire engine up the street.
Citizens of Columbia, and those not so lucky, it is my proud privilege and pleasure to unveil to public gaze Columbia's first modern piece of firefighting apparatus. And here it is, Little Papeete.
Don't they look handsome? Oh, there's your husband, Mrs. Brady.
Hello, Matthew.
Oh, yoo-hoo, John! Philo? Well,
Company, march. and gentlemen, we are about to demonstrate that little Papeete is not only a thing of beauty, but an object of practical and vital use that can throw a stream of water equal in volume to 1,000 men with buckets. Company, turn to!
Oh, aren't they efficient? Look how fast they're working.
All right, start thumping. Maybe the valve isn't open.
You'll die of dyspepsia, Father. You boat your food like that.
Oh.
Seems like we never get a chance to talk together anymore.
Oh, I've been busy. I got a lot in my mind.
Nothing troubling you, is there?
Well, I suppose I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Why not?
It's almost too much to expect of nobody like me.
You know what the poet said. Faint heart never won.
I'd be the happiest man in the world. I wouldn't ask for another thing as long as I lived. If only I could be elected chief of the Columbia Fire Department. Well, I've got to get going.
But you haven't had your dessert yet. I made peach cobbler especially for you.
Can't wait. Engine company meets at 7.
Again? But you had one only night before last.
Oh, that was business. This is social.
Oh, will there be ladies present?
Only little Papeete, bless her.
The way you men carry on about that fool engine, like a bunch of boys with a new toy.
Papeete is no toy, I assure you, Miss Pellet. Papeete is the latest in firefighting apparatus. Why, Papeete...
Papeete, I'm sick of the name. It's all I've heard for weeks and months. You can't talk about anything else or think about anything else. Why, you can't even sit down and eat a decent meal anymore because you're so anxious to get back to that fool engine and polish her brass and stroke her paint and admire her shape.
That's twice now you call Papeete fool, and I won't stand for it. I put up with your criticisms of me and my friends. I've heard you disapprove of everything in the town of Columbia, but when you start throwing insults at Papeete, by golly, that's going too far.
I can't help it.
Then go live in Sonora, where they don't have a Papeete, where they have to depend on an old-fashioned bucket brigade. Go on, live in a town that burns down regular, see how you like it. And what's more, you needn't make peach cobbler for me anymore because I'm not coming back. I'm taking my meals across the street at Mrs. Hoyle's. Wife of Fireman Hoyle.
Philo, you can't. Her cooking isn't clean. I didn't mean what I said just now. I just sort of flared up and...
Where's he going in such a hurry?
Oh, another meeting of the engine company.
The way those men carry on about that fire engine like a bunch of kids with a new toy.
She's not a toy. Papeete is the last word in firefighting apparatus.
Well, she'll be able to extinguish fires.
Will be. She's already put out one to the very last spark. Why didn't she go out to Tahiti like she was supposed to? And do her work among the heathen.
One keg of beer enough for 20 men?
Well, there's more coming up.
Good.
Can't I go with you?
No, this is a practice run.
But you're gonna have a beer party.
Stag.
Off, men! See how easy she is to handle, even uphill. That's our baby, huh?
Oh, they've taken her out in a practice run.
Why does everyone call that engine she? And then they're celebrating with the beer party up in the Grove.
And if I know those men, they won't be home till way after dark. So you're wasting your time around here, Kitty.
I got nothing else to do. Mrs. Brady, how can you put up with having your husband spend so much time with a fire engine?
My dear, I've been married 20 years, and I'm thankful it's only a fire engine.
Saying goodbye, Pike County, farewell for a while. We'll come back again when we've panned out our file. Oh, they soon reached the desert where Betsy gave out, and down in the sand she lay rolling about, while Ike in great terror looked on in surprise, saying, Betsy, get up, you'll get sand in your eyes. Saying goodbye, Pike County, you can't send our mail. We're all of us riding the Oregon Trail. As I was walking down the street, a pretty girl I chanced to meet under the silvery moon. Hangtown gals won't you come out tonight, come out tonight, come out tonight. Hangtown gals won't you come out tonight, and that's why
Hey, Pete!
Milo, don't!
Crazy fool, look out!
Watch out!
Oh, Miss Pellet, did you hear about the terrible accident?
What happened?
Little Pepite got loose, ran away. Philo tried to stop her, grabbed hold of a rope.
Philo?
She ran right over him.
Oh, no.
But he hung on, was dragged clear down the hill.
How badly was he hurt?
I don't know. They had to carry him back to town.
Where are the men?
In there with Philo.
How is he?
Why, I really don't know.
Oh, Mr. Brady, is he? Will he live?
We just held a kind of ceremony over him. Elected him chief of the engine company.
Oh, Mr. Brady!
Nobody more deserving of it. Risked his life to save little Pepite.
All right, boys, pack her in. Now, don't cry, Miss Pellet.
There was only something I could do.
Oh, but there's nothing you can do. Everything's going to be all right. Philo will be all right. And as for little Pepite, she hasn't a scratch on her.
There must be some. There must be.
We'll need the best quality white satin and real gold and silver thread.
Well, I used to be a seamstress. I'll be glad to help with some of the plain sewing.
Thank you, Mrs. Brady. And I'll help with the embroidery. Splendid. We'll get started right away and have it finished in no time.
8 days' labor, that's what you're down for.
But you've got no right.
Why, everybody's doing their bit for the fire department, Judge. Even the ladies are contributing.
Contributing what?
Well, we don't know yet. It's a surprise to be presented at the engine house this coming Saturday.
And so, gentlemen of the fire department, I have been chosen to present you with this as a slight token of the esteem and admiration of the ladies of Columbia, the work of their hands and their hearts.
Presented to the Columbia Engine Company by the ladies of Columbia, February the 22nd, 1861.
Champagne for everybody!
Thanks. Susan, what are you doing here?
She should have made the presentation. It was all her idea. She designed the banner and ordered the stuff and did a lot of the embroidery. Just the word Columbia. Oh, Johnny!
I once said if they made me fire chief, I'd never ask for anything else. Well, I'm going to, right here and now.
No, Father, you mustn't.
Susan, will you marry me?
I can't.
I love you,
You wouldn't if you knew.
and you love me.
Please, Fido, listen. There's something I must tell you. I've done a perfectly terrible thing. If you'd been killed when Pepite ran away, it would have been my fault.
Susan,
Pepite didn't get away by accident. I pushed the stone out from under her. I wanted her to be smashed to pieces. I hated her so. I should have been the one to have been killed. I wish I had. Well, anyway, now you know. I wanted to tell you before I left for Sonora.
you're not going to Sonora.
I couldn't stay here and face everyone after this.
No one else will ever know. A husband and wife should have some secrets together.
Philo
To you and me.
and little Pepite.
This picture you've just seen was made right in the old gold camp of Columbia, with little Pepite playing her own part. The banner presented by the ladies back in 1861 is still on exhibit there in the museum, but it's not for sale. A famous Hollywood star offered $2,500 for it a few years ago and was turned down flat.
Howdy. I'm the old ranger, and Death Valley's my stamping ground. Many's the tale of adventure I'm going to tell you about the Death Valley country. True stories, mind you. I can vouch for that.
Tonight you're going to hear a tale of two cities and about a girl who was transplanted from one to the other. Washington, D.C. and Little Washington. It is the year 1878. Rutherford B. Hayes is President of the United States. And whirling through her first social season is Dodie Trumbull, the most popular, most publicized debutante in the nation's capital. Small wonder that her beautiful young head is slightly turned.
You dance very well for a man from Nevada.
By the way, that's pronounced Nevada. I notice you give it the broad ah.
I prefer it to a dreadful flat ah.
Only the dreadful flat ah is correct.
Among the natives, perhaps.
I just thought you might like to know, in case you go to Nevada.
I never expect to.
You might marry a man from Nevada.
When I can choose any other place in the world. What made you do that?
Because you irritate me, and because you're so beautiful. Could be such a person if you ever got out.
I am out.
I mean away from here. You don't know anything but Washington. You think it's the beginning and the end of everything. Your attitude is absolutely provincial.
Well, you're a fine one to say that. Congressman from the sagebrush state.
Ah, here you are, Miss Trumbull. I believe this is my dance. May I?
I'm delighted to be rescued.
Monsieur?
Here's another one for Tuesday the 17th.
That makes 3 receptions for that afternoon. But of course, we can at least leave our cards at each of them. More flowers for Miss Doty.
Oh. From Nigel Jarman.
Oh, yes, that nice attaché at the British Embassy.
Thought it might be an apology from... Put them in water, will you, Martha? If you can find any more vases.
Yes, Miss Doty.
The New Year's Day reception at the White House. Oh! The President and Mrs. Rutherford B. Hayes request the honor of your presence
In Carson City, Nevada.
Really? Father,
Yeah?
just look at all the invitations that have come today.
Oh, the next few weeks will be a veritable whirl.
Yes, they will indeed, because we're moving.
Moving?
To that house I love so much on DuPont Circle? Oh, Ray!
Father, how wonderful. There's twice the room for entertaining.
And it's a far more fashionable address. Let's see, what is that number, dear?
Oh, it's...
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, but not until after the holidays, dear. I simply couldn't face a move with...
Please. May I get a word in edgewise? We're not moving to DuPont Circle.
Oh. Then where?
I have just been appointed director of the Mint
The Mint?
Father.
in Carson City, Nevada.
Carson City?
Nevada?
I take up my official duties there on January 2nd, which means that we'll be leaving here shortly. Probably, the middle of December.
Sagebrush State.
Oh, no, my dear. The Silver State. It's a great honor that the administration has seen fit to confer upon me.
An honor? It seems more to me as if you are being shelved.
How did they happen to select you, Father?
I really couldn't say. A case of being recommended. Some political wire pulling, perhaps? All I know is that I'm extremely happy and gratified.
Well, I don't even know where Carson City is.
My dear, it's the capital of the state.
The capital? Oh, well, then...
Smallest capital in the United States.
Oh, dear, no.
I learned that from their congressman.
Oh, you've met young Tabor.
I've met him.
Well, now that's splendid, because I've invited him here tomorrow night for dinner to tell us all about our new home.
One of the things that worries me is the servant problem. Martha absolutely refuses to go with us. Is there an employment agency in Carson City?
Oh, I'm afraid not, Mrs. Trumbull, but I think I have just the person for you. She used to work for my mother.
As cook?
And general factotum.
Well trained, is she? She knows what's what.
Oh, yes, Minnie knows what's what. I'll write her if you like.
Oh, well, I'd have to interview her, of course, before we could make any definite arrangements.
Minnie isn't the kind you interview, you just hire.
But I'd want to know what she can do.
She can do anything and everything.
Well, sounds like a paragon to me. Go ahead, Mark, sign her up.
Well, it would simplify matters to have someone there to help us settle. Then if I found out she didn't work out, I could let her go.
You'll keep her. Minnie's the best house servant in Nevada.
Nevada.
Miss Doty.
Good evening.
How beautiful you look. Won't you sit down?
Doty's attending the cotillion this evening.
Oh? Then you won't be here?
I'm making the most of what little time I have left in Washington before we go into the wilderness.
Why, ma'am, the holidays in Carson City mighty jolly, too. All kinds of goings-on.
Such as straw rides, I suppose.
You like straw rides?
I detest them.
Now, Doty,
When did you ever go on a straw ride?
Never. And I never intend to.
Why, ma'am, they're really lots of fun, bouncing in the straw, singing, holding hands.
What do you think, Dodie? Mr. Tabor thinks he can supply us with a maid.
It's all settled. If you're friends of mine, she'll be glad to work for you.
Oh, won't it be wonderful to step off the train in Carson City and have...
Excuse me, Mrs. Trumbull. Did you say train? Carson City isn't on the railroad.
Capital of the state?
It's a very small capital. Up until a few years ago, it was only a trading post.
How big? Dear me, I had no idea.
The whole of Nevada has a population of only half a person per square mile.
Half a person?
Mother, this is impossible. We can't go off and bury ourselves in a place like that. Father, can't you refuse the appointment?
My dear child, it's a political plum.
It's the end of everything as far as I'm concerned. I know who's responsible.
You flatter me, ma'am, a mere congressman.
Can't you and I stay here anyway, Mother?
My place is with your father, dear.
At least till the end of the season. By that time, I'll...
You will have found yourself a husband. A foreign title, perhaps. She could, you know. Your daughter could have her choice of anybody in the world. I've been told so on the best of authority.
Dinner is served.
I'll wait in here till Colonel Carruthers calls for me. Half a man to every square mile. You're not even half a man.
Excuse me. I hope you have a very pleasant evening.
And so at the height of the social season, that December of 1878, the Trumbulls said goodbye to Washington and started on the long journey west to Nevada. It was the week after Christmas when they arrived in Carson City and were deposited in front of the furnished house that had been rented for them.
Well, not bad.
At least it's not an Indian teepee.
Well, the door's open.
Good. Then the house has been opened and aired. A bear!
My dear, it's only a rug.
Oh, but it's still a bear.
Not bad at all.
It'll be like living in a zoo.
Young Tabor has done very well for us.
Please don't mention that man's name to me.
An Indian in there.
I'll take care of it, dear.
Oh, be careful. Oh, dear.
Me, Minnie.
Mark Tabor's idea of a joke.
I've never been so frightened in all of my life.
Of all the despicable...
I wonder if she wears a feathered headdress to serve dinner.
Father, how can you laugh?
Well, she's serving no dinners in this house, that's certain.
You're not going to keep her?
Well, hardly.
Ray, I wouldn't have a quiet moment with that red-skinned savage under the same roof.
If she worked for Mark's family.
Well, that doesn't prove anything. He's a barbarian himself.
Well, I shall get rid of her immediately, even if it means I have to do my own work or...
Me fix dinner.
Mother, why didn't didn't you tell her?
Afraid she had a tomahawk?
Oh, Father, you're as bad as Mark.
It's never proper to serve notice on a servant in the presence of others. I shall speak to her in the kitchen. Minnie? Minnie?
Oh.
Oh. I'm very sorry, Minnie, but we'll not be needing your services. If you'll tell me how much we owe you, I'll see that you're paid, and then you may... Is that a pie in there? Well, leave it. I'll take it out later, after you're gone. We'll eat it tomorrow, perhaps. We're going to the hotel tonight for dinner.
You eat dinner here?
No.
You tired?
Well, yes, a little, perhaps, but...
You go to hotel, must rest, meet stranger, talk. Better you eat home.
You don't seem to understand, Minnie. Very well. Since you've already made preparations, you may serve dinner at 7.
You eat 6 o'clock.
We're in the habit of dining at 7.
Maybe so big Washington. This little Washington.
Little Washington?
You be ready, 6 o'clock.
Oh, yes. Yes, Minnie.
As maybe you've already guessed, Minnie didn't leave that evening. After the meal she'd served them, the Trumbolls decided...
I've never tasted such a pie. If I had my way, I'd never let Minnie go.
Well, it might be wise to keep her, dear, at least until after we're settled.
As long as no one sees her.
But she'll be in the kitchen, dear.
Suppose someone should drop in.
Who would? After all, we know no one in Carson yet.
But the next afternoon of that very mild winter, Dodie discovered somebody she did know in Carson.
Wonderful country, isn't it, Nevada?
What are you doing here?
Home for the holidays? There's no place like Carson City at Christmas time.
That's a matter of opinion.
I was just coming to pay my respects and ask what size glove you wear.
Glove?
So I can buy you a pair for the New Year's Eve ball.
Well, really?
You will do me the honor of going with me, I hope.
Not if you were the last man on earth. And as for my gloves, my father buys me all I need.
You don't understand. Out here, when a man asks a woman to a dance...
I'm not attending the dance.
It's really a very nice affair.
I'm not interested.
Everybody who is anything will be there.
I can just imagine. Women with babies, Indians. And speaking of Indians...
Are you making out with Minnie?
You should be ashamed of yourself, foisting off a creature like that on my mother.
Foisting?
Suppose someone should come to the house and see her. What kind of impression would they get of us? There goes someone now.
Uh-oh. The governor's wife.
The governor's? Oh, Mark, stop her. To tell her we haven't arrived yet. We're all out. We're sick. We're dead. If she should ring the doorbell and Minnie answers, well, we're socially ruined.
Then you better hurry up and get there first.
You unspeakable desert rat.
How do you do? How do you do? I'm Mrs. Kincaid, the governor's wife. Oh, well, won't you come in? Thank you.
I hope you'll forgive me for calling on you in this informal fashion, Mrs. Trumbull, instead of waiting for your day at home.
Oh, I have no day at home, Mrs. Kincaid.
Oh, but you will have, of course, like all the other ladies of the diplomatic circle.
They do? I had no idea you had a diplomatic circle here.
Minnie, what are you doing?
Me serve tea.
Oh, no, you don't. Nobody ordered tea. Nobody wants tea. If you dare bring that into the parlor, I'll...
My daughter is one of this season's buds, too.
Really? Where was she presented?
Right here in Carson.
You mean the girls have a formal debut here in Carson?
Why, certainly. Catherine was presented at the Thanksgiving Assembly.
Oh, did you hear that, Dodie?
I heard.
I had no idea that in a remote outpost like this you have...
Minnie.
Oh.
If you don't mind my asking...
Oh, I really must apologize.
Well, how did you
Oh,
ever
she's
happen
only
to-
here temporarily.
It was Mark Tabor's doings.
Mark Tabor? Why, that young scamp. Wait till I tell him what I think of him.
I already have.
Why, to steal Minnie right out of my household.
What?
Your household?
I've been absolutely lost since she quit. Why, Minnie knows the social ropes like nobody else in the capital. Well, she was invaluable in the governor's mansion. An authority on protocol. But if Mark Tabor told her to work for you, that's all there was to it. She adores him. And so do we all. He's one of Nevada's most brilliant young men. But I'm sure you've already discovered that.
There were other callers at the Trumbull house the next 2 days. Every one of them leaving the proper number of calling cards in the card tray which Minnie placed beside the door. But Mark Tabor's wasn't among them. And on New Year's Eve, Dodie lay in bed and listened to the carriages rolling by, taking folks to the ball she had spurned, and the faint strains of a dance orchestra. The following day dawned clear and warm, and around the middle of the morning, having retired early the night before, the Trumbulls started for a walk.
Go back.
We're just taking a little walk, Minnie. A constitutional.
Ladies not walk on New Year's Day. Gentlemen walk. Only with high silk hat on head.
Sorry, Minnie. I didn't bring my silk hat to Carson City.
Well, it never occurred to him that he'd need it.
Stay in house, then.
Well, you're not serious.
Come along, dear, if Minnie says so.
Oh, but surely...
Minnie is an authority on protocol.
Oh?
You too.
I feel like taking a walk. Nobody's going to stop me. Please, let me by. I'm not going back into the house. I want some fresh air. Oh, you have no right to...
You spoiled brat. You want Minnie spank?
Don't you dare.
Then march in house. Get dressed. Best clothes.
Well, I must say that I feel something of a fool. All dressed up and no place to go.
Minnie knows best, dear.
Do you realize where we'd be going if we were back in Washington? To the president's reception at the White House.
Me get. The Attorney General and the Secretary of State for Nevada.
Hello, Ray. Good to see you again. Yes, it's the regular New Year's custom in Carson City. Before the day is over, you'll have received several hundred gentlemen callers.
Several hundred?
Oh, yes.
Oh, how perfectly delightful. Will you excuse me a moment?
This is my first trip out west, and I think I'm going to like it very much.
Excuse me, I want to speak to my daughter.
Yes, certainly.
That's standing by working.
There are hundreds on the way.
Isn't it thrilling? Washington was nothing like this.
But what am I going to feed them?
I don't know.
Oh, dear. Ray, I was just going to ask Minnie to make some coffee. I had no idea there'd be so many this afternoon. Oh, I just don't know what we're going...
Make way, clear track.
Oh, Minnie, what have you there?
Heap eggnog.
And is it heap good? The White House never served anything to touch it.
Give me some. I need it.
Mr. Mark Tabor.
Excuse me.
Certainly.
Mark.
Happy New Year.
For me?
Mm-hmm. Just one of our funny customs. Instead of flowers, we give gloves. Since fresh flowers aren't obtainable out here in the wilderness.
You're laughing at me, but I deserve it.
No, laughing with you.
Why didn't you tell me, Mark? Carson City is the most formal place in the whole United States, outside of Washington, D.C., where ladies have at homes and girls make debuts, and where nobody calls without leaving cards, and where the...
And where there are no straw rides?
What a fool you must have thought me.
Darling, no,
Just provincial.
That was inexcusable of me.
But so true. I did think that Washington was the beginning and end of everything. And that men with titles were...
Eggnog.
I might have a title myself someday. Governor of the Sagebrush State.
We teach her. She make good first lady.
To us and to little Washington.
Nevada.
Dodie.
Carson City is still the smallest capital in the United States and one of the best. But if you go there today, don't worry about calling cards and a high hat.
চোখ বন্ধ করলে তুমি যে কি করবে আমি জানি না।
কি বলো? কি করব?
জানি আমি।
বন্ধ করো না, চোখ বন্ধ করো।
সত্যি কিছু করবে না তো?
100%।
ঠিক আছে, করলাম।
Will you marry me?
মোবাইল? নতুন মোবাইল? লাখ করছো কি তুমি? থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
কে?
স্যার কুরিয়ার।
দাঁড়াও। ওরা তো বাসায় কেউ নেই, তুমি টেবিলের উপর রেখে দিয়ে যেতে পারবে?
জি জি স্যার, অবশ্যই স্যার। স্যার রিসিপ্ট স্যার সই লাগবে স্যার একটা।
কলম দাও, কলম।
স্যার বাইক থেকে নামার পরে স্যার কলমটা আর খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না স্যার। স্যার একটা কলম হবে?
দাঁড়াও।
জি।
যেহেতু আমার লোন দেওয়ার মতো লোকের অভাব, তাই আমি প্রথম পদ্ধতিটাই বেছে নিলাম। নিজের জন্য নয়, এই জীবনে প্রথম আমি চুরি করলাম। যে আমার মন চুরি করেছে তার জন্য, মালার জন্য।
ঠিকানাটা কি আছে ওখানে?
জি স্যার।
ঠিকানা
স্যার আলেকজান্দ্রিয়া, ইজিপ্ট, মিশর থেকে আসছে স্যার।
ও মিশর। মিশর তো দারুণ একটা জায়গা, বিশেষ করে অ্যান্টিক্সের জন্য। আমি যতবার গেছি মিশরে, ততবারই আমি কিছু না কিছু নিয়ে এসছি সেখান থেকে।
স্যার আজকে আসি স্যার।
হ্যাঁ
আজকে আসি স্যার, একটা ডেলিভারি আছে তো।
ও আচ্ছা,
স্যার।
অন্ধপুরের ঘড়ি বিক্রির টাকায় মালার জন্য একটা ভালো মোবাইল কিনে ফেললাম। ফলে বাকি চুরির জিনিসপত্র নিয়ে আমি মোটেও ভাবিত ছিলাম না। মালা,
আজকেও দেরি করে আসছো। প্রত্যেক দিন তুমি দেরি করো, কি সমস্যা তোমার?
তুমি না বলো যে আমার মধ্যে একটা নায়ক নায়ক ভাব। দেখো না সিনেমায় নায়ক দেরি করে ফেলে, নায়িকা অপেক্ষা করে থাকে। আচ্ছা সরি 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 সরি। মন খারাপ করো কেন? তোমার জন্য একটা জিনিস আনছি, বলো কি আনছি।
কি জিনিস দাও? কি আনছো দাও না।
না না না, তুমি একটু চিন্তা করে দেখো কি আনছি।
এত চিন্তা করতে পারবো না তো।
বলো, মাথাটা একটু খাটাও।
আরে কি ঘোড়া ডিম নিয়ে আসছো, দাও না দাও।
আচ্ছা তাহলে চোখ বন্ধ করো।
চোখ বন্ধ করলে তুমি যে কি করবে আমি জানি না।
কি বলো, কি করব?
জানি জানি আমি।
বন্ধ করো না, চোখ বন্ধ করো।
সত্যি কিছু করবে না তো?
100%।
ঠিক আছে, করলাম।
Will you marry me?
মোবাইল, নতুন মোবাইল। লাখ করছো কি তুমি? থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আমার একটা ফোন কি দরকার ছিল জান? তুমি এটা কি করছো? দাও দাও দাও।
ভালো হয়েছে না? ভালো হয়েছে না? দেখো, বলছিলাম না তোমার, কথা দিছিলাম না। ছবি তুলে দেখো।
হ্যাঁ ছবি তো তুলবই, দাঁড়াও। নতুন মোবাইলের প্রথম ছবি তোমার সাথে। আসো।
আচ্ছা আপনি ওই দিন আপনার আম্মার সামনে আমার লগে এরকম ব্যবহার করছেন কেন?
আমার ইচ্ছে হয়েছে আমি করছি, আর আমার পিছে ঘুরে লাভ নেই।
কেন? আমি আপনার ভালোবাসি না, করবো না কেন?
বেহায়া মেয়ে রে বাবা, তোমার তো আমি ক্লিয়ার করে বলছি যে আমি তোমার বিয়ে করবো না।
আরে আপনার আম্মাই তো আমার পছন্দ করছো, তো আপনি শাদি করবেন না কেলা?
তাহলে তারই বিয়েটা করো।
ছি ছি ছি, আস্তাগফিরুল্লাহ, কি কইতাছেন? আমি আপনার আম্মারে কেলা শাদি করব? আমি তো আপনার শাদি করব। আর আপনি যদি আমার শাদি না করছেন তাহলে কয়ে দিলাম, ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম আমার হাতে লিখুন।
তোমার যা ইচ্ছা তুমি তাই করো, আমি একদমই ভয় পাই না। আগের বার মাইনে নিছি, খেলা ছিল দেখা, এটা খেলা না, এটা আমার জীবন। আমি জীবন নিয়ে ছেলে খেলা করতে পারবো না।
আমি হাঁচা হাঁচা কইতেছি, আমি কিন্তু ব্লেড দিয়ে
হাতে পায়ে গলায় মুখে সব জায়গায় যেখানে ইচ্ছা সেখানে লেখো। ইংরেজি বাংলা ফার্সি যেটাতে পারো সেটাতেই লেখো, আমার কিচ্ছু যায় আসে না।
আপনার আমি শেষবারের মতো কইতেছি, আপনারা আর বেশি সময় দিব না, শুধুমাত্র 12 ঘন্টা সময় দিলাম। এই 12 ঘন্টার মধ্যে আপনি আপনার মত বদলাইবেন, নাহলে কইলাম আমি হাঁচায় ব্লেড দিয়ে আপনার নাম লিখে ফেলাম, আমার কেউ আটকাইতে পারবো না।
আরামসে তুমি সিগারেট টানো, বুঝো নাই শান্তিতে, আর ওদিক দিয়ে কাম সারছে।
কেন কি হইছে?
আরে শুনোস না, ওই মেয়ে তো ডেঞ্জারাস একটা ঘটনা ঘটায় ফেলছে। লেট দিয়ে হাত কাটছে, এখন কি হইব মামা?
ওই মেয়েটা
বস কি মামা? হাত
কেন? ওই মেয়ের তোর কোনো কথা হয়েছিল?
কালকে রাত্রেবেলা বাসার সামনে এসে দাঁড়ায় ছিল, আমার 12 ঘন্টার আলটিমেটাম দিছে।
এই কিসের আলটিমেটাম দিছে রে? হ্যাঁ,
আরে ওই বিয়াতে রাজি না হইলে কি জানি।
এই কথা তুই আগে কবি না।
আরে আমি কি বুঝছি নাকি?
আরে না বাবার কি আছে, বুঝোস না, মেয়েটা তো ডেঞ্জারাস। এখন যদি কিছু হয়ে যায় মামা, আমাকে তো পুলিশে ধরে নিয়ে যাবে।
আমি কি করছি?
ও আমি কি করছি কিছু জানো না? না ওই বেটা আইনার মারপে জানো, জীবনে তো থানায় তুই যাস্তে জানবি কেন? থানায় আমি গেছি জানি। ফোন যে কোনো হলো আত্মহত্যা প্ররোচনকারী যেই হোক না কেন, তার নাম যদি একবার থানায় গিয়ে কয় মামা, তাহলে তোর খবর আছে। এখন তুই কি করবি তুই চিন্তা করে দেখ।
কি করছে সব? এই লাইলি বাইচা আছে তো?
হ্যাঁ শুনলাম ও তো বাইচা আছে।
কোন হসপিটাল আছে? আমি যাই একটু দেখা করে আসি।
হসপিটালে যাই দেখা করে, হসপিটাল থাকলে তখন তুমি চৈত শিকার ভিত্তা থাকলা, বুঝো নাই? আর তুমি যাই হয়তো বাসায় আছে। এই তুই কি ওর বাসায় যাবি?
তুই যাবি মামা?
হায় রে খোদা, তুমি আইছো, আমি জানতাম তুমি আইবা। আমি লাইলে রে কইছি তুমি আসবা। চ্যাংরা হও আর রক্ত গরম হও, মানুষ তো, তোমার মনের ভিতরে সেই প্রেমটা আছে।
আচ্ছা আমি লাইলির সাথে একটু দেখা করবো।
লাইলির সাথে দেখা করবা?
কেমন আছে ও?
আছে বাবা, আসো আসো, তোমার আমি একটু দেখা করাতে আসো।
এইসব কি?
প্লেট দিয়ে তোমার নাম লিখছি, বানান ঠিক আছে?
একদম ঠিক আছে। কিন্তু কি বলো বাইক না, ভালো হয়েছে না? আমি কিন্তু লাইলিতে কইছিলাম যে লাইলি ছবি তুইলা ওরা পাঠাই দে। হয় কইছে যে না, কিছু জিনিস আছে এগুলো ছবি তুলে পাঠালে সঠিকভাবে দেখা যায় না, সামনাসামনি দেখতে হয়। এর লেগে তো এতক্ষণ ধরে তোমার জন্য অপেক্ষা করতেছি।
এইসব পাগলামির কোনো মানে আছে?
আছে না, তোমার আমি শাদি করব, তুমি আমার শাদি করবা, করবা না?
এই তুমি কি আমার বলদ পাইছো? বলদ এই পাশে দাঁড়ানো লোকটার মতো।
দিলে তুমি আমার মামার নিয়ে কি করতেছো?
আমি বলবো তুমি শুনবা। মানে এই যদি তোমার হাত কাটার নমুনা হয়, হ্যাঁ আমি জানলে আমি জীবনেও আসতাম না। আর যদি হাত সত্যি সত্যি কাটতাও তাও আসতাম না, কোনো লাভই হতো না। আমি তোমারে বিয়ে করব না। তোমার মতো মেয়ের সাথে শুধুমাত্র মজা নেওয়া যায়, বাড়ির বউ করা যায় না। তোমার মধ্যে ওই রকম কোনো এলিমেন্টই নাই।
তুমি একটু বেশি বেশি করতেছো না?
এই মাঝখান দিয়ে ঢুকে গেলেন? হ্যাঁ সাদে কি আপনার মানুষে হাবলু কয়? এর লেগে আপনার হাবলু কয়। কারণ ঢুকছেন যখন, তখন আমারে না বুঝায় আপনার এই ড্রামাবাজ ভাগ্নিরা বুঝান। আমি ওরে বিয়ে করব না, আমি মরে গেলে ওরে বিয়ে করব না। মানে নিজের তো কোনো মান সম্মান নাই, পরিবারের মান সম্মানটা যদি খোয়াইতে না চাও তাহলে এসব বন্ধ করো। সবার সামনে অপমান করবো না।
থাক ভাগ্নি, তুই কষ্ট পাইস না, হয় তোরা বুঝতে পারে নাই। আর যেদিন বুঝতে পারবো, হয় কান্দা বুক চাপড়াইব, তখন বুঝবো যে কি জিনিস হারাইছি। তুই কান্দিস না ভাগ্নি, একদম কান্দিস না। তুই থাক, আমি আইতাছি, দেখতেছি।
Mấy cái thằng đi phòng gym mà tập ở trên cái máy cardio nhiều quá ấy cũng dễ bị skinny fat mà. Skinny toilet fat. Đúng. Cái gì cơ? Con đấy à? Thôi anh bay à, anh đang đánh cờ, anh không biết bài cờ của anh như nào từ đến giờ. Anh bỏ bê quá lâu, anh có 70 máu cơ, what the hell. Cái thời ơi, lúc này đang quay mà. Ô, con oan ở đâu ra này? What the hell? Thế con oan này, chuồn bố à? Đây có con oan ở đây. Một là cút để pháp tử thần binh hơn. Đâu biết rồi, chuẩn làm đắc làm nào. Thế con oan đâu ra này? Đừng có phải có người yêu lớn đâu, đầy đứa yêu từ mẫu giáo. Mà lên học là cái lúc dễ có người yêu, mới lên môi trường mới, rất là hay tò mò, nhất là về chuyện tình yêu. Số công ty nhưng mà loser. Anh quay một con legendary ấy. Anh quay ra legendary đấy, đi chợ. Đéo ý mà. One. Mạnh. Thơm chắc là đang build cái build trang cá nhân hay sao ấy, giống thế. Đây là gặp ốc treo gì như vậy người thầy người đẹp rồi bây giờ đi ra xoáy, sao ra xoáy anh sống mất máu vậy. Đây loser đâu có đồ phép mà chuồn búa. 2 lap à, sự bay một tí như sao phi mặt ấy. 4 lap bỏ anh đang vượt được 5 lap không? 5 lap rồi. Chỉ 5 lap 6 rồi. Giờ lap 6, 5 lap rưỡi à? Chỉ mua số được đấy. Cái gì? What the hell? 1 giờ tối chưa ăn. Thằng này có sự healthy không vậy? Mày xem tao báo mấy giờ? Tầm 7 rưỡi. Tao bắt tập gì? Con gì ở giữa này, từ từ anh ra bắt xe auto này. Thấy không? Xong rồi. Cũng nhiều tiền rồi, nó cũng cho thêm tiền rồi. Mấy tiền mà phải không? Ê, gì? Ê, con này cũng mới 3.600 máu này á. Cái con vàng vàng ấy. Tấm đập dựa đâu ấy, mỗi thằng đều được có 1 máu chứ đúng không? Thằng nào đều được 1 máu rồi. Nó vội mày em, một lần vội đét. Tiền, ôi kìa, xin lỗi này. Điều cái dễ kiểu gì à, nhưng mà anh cũng muốn máu rồi, anh đéo bị chết thì cũng mất. Sao đánh con này mất thời gian nhỉ? Tác dụng gì không ạ? Tôi đánh con này đâu có tác dụng gì sao ạ? Ồ, với Sojin à? Được. Ô, 2 con Rai. Tôi Sojin này. Có thể không? Nhớ rồi. What the hell? Trừ. Quen à? Áo của tao à? Cái áo cùng OCB. Hôm qua tao mặc đấy tập. Nói tao rủ mày gì nhưng mà mày đeo đi. Khỏi chưa? Hả? Đúng khám bao giờ anh nuôi em? Đấy con này bao giờ mới xong đấy? Thời gian gọi kiểu này. Vì con này mất mạng. Vẫn thua được ạ. Cho ra xin ra 2 ạ. Xin 2 không đủ lên sắm nổi nó. À đây là sạch. What the hell doing quick. Rồi xin ra tiếc thế. Tiếc thế, bài yếu điết. Được cái đéo đây. Good luck. Được cái đéo đây nhỉ. Không nhặt được cái đéo đây. Được thêm 10 vàng chút. Không có đập xong con này biến mất. Chôn. Người chôn đi. Nó nào thế? What the hell? Sao nhớ được cái gì mà nó cứ hiện dấu trong thang này? Bay lại nữa đi. Hút về bay rồi bố. Hút về bay. Hút. Bay rồi. Thắng này, chiến thắng này vậy. Bén à. Thật sự thấy bút tốc độ cho thằng để thử đấy. Mày bữa ấy. Không. Và treo pet đi. Ui đánh pet xong. Gì? Vào đánh pet simulator xong. À 10 tỷ thôi anh ra quay thêm 3 quả trứng nó xanh về. Ping cái gì à? Này được ra legendary cơ, cứ lắc. Legendary cho bố. Ra anh kiếm 100 tỷ anh ra anh quay đi. Vẫn là có mỗi cung à? Cung với cả Sojin à? Đẹp là Sojin. Đéo con nào ấy, nó đang gì vậy? Ra đồ rồi. Bốc lửa cho thoải. GG cái này mà nó cho cái free cái click auto clicker nữa sự đã binh em như mình đang chơi vào quay màn hình tí xong. Mắc mình rồi. Trốn dễ phải thôi, mưu sinh luôn Hiếu thì cuộc sống thì vì tiền thôi Hiếu rồi. Thằng yêu Khôi bây giờ không có vẻ thằng Khôi làm quản lý sàn thương mại điện tử đây xong cộng 1 nhân viên. Thằng vàng ấy mua nhặt xưởng vàng với chúa mua nhặt xưởng vàng lắp cho cái định mệnh nữa. Sự cái là có 2 ấn là nhặt thêm 10 định không kéo lên chết này. Biết mà một nghỉ việc ghê. Thế nghỉ việc ghê, nghỉ việc đi. ha. Nick nói nhiều không? Cái gì đấy? Có ấn ăn rừng không? Màu ấn ăn rừng nhỉ? Đéo biết làm ăn gì mà. Chán vậy, không biết. Chị em hôm nay cũng giờ mới có 12:57, anh sẽ quay đến 5 giờ. Bây giờ là 3 tiếng. 3 tiếng thì là quay lúc ấy 8 tiếng. Xong. Bình thường. 8. Còn không phải rồi. Bếp mới của eo đây. Bếp bay đi sao trời 34 tỷ cho 100 tỷ đi xong rồi quay cho binh. Sấy. Mày Rebirth đi em phải rebirth. Sang vua mới thì phải rebirth thì mới được mà phải rebirth với sang vua mới có điều kiện mà. Vua của anh đang cần rebirth 4 lần. Rebirth từ đầu các vua trước đến giờ ấy, anh mới được 2 lần, 2 vua 2 lần. 3 vua thì rebirth 2 lần. Yes. Bao nhiêu rồi? Một lần anh bay. Em bảo là GG noob. Em phải bảo là GG noob. Noob hay khóc. Gì? Đéo rồi đấy. Cũng đéo được, đéo phải. U linh à? Ấn U linh à? Thần không phải. Ấn hắc ám, lắp cho thầy một chuyện hắc ám nhé. Ô. Ai đây? À